Welcome back to live coverage of Bazaar of Moxen, Annecy. Riley Knight alongside Pro Tour Hall of Famer Raphael Levy. Usually, ladies and gentlemen, the excitement that I have is 100% artificial, but it is all real today. Genuine excitement because we've got something very, very special indeed, Raph. It's time to head down to the feature match area in just a second or so because we are streaming vintage. My friends, let's go down to the table and let's get underway. Not often, Raph, that we see live games of vintage broadcast in big tournaments like this, but Bazaar of Moxen, they promote the Eternal formats pretty heavily, and we've had a pretty big turnout for our vintage tournament today.
100 players?
Yeah, which is a huge amount.
In France.
Yeah. Underground Sea kicking things off for Rumani and Richard stepping on the right-hand side. A lot of English players have made the journey across the ditch to come and give the French a good whipping, just like we've done in the past. And Preordain kicking things off for Rumani here.
So the 300 players from yesterday's event in Legacy.
Yeah,
that's a good show.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, vintage, one of the most exclusive formats. Very difficult to get into, of course, but a hugely passionate and dedicated community of players. Rumanil, I can see in his hand a Soul Ring. Some of the other absolutely busted, broken cards that we're going to see played today. Gitaxian Pro kicking things off for Stebbing here, and let's get a good old look at Stefan Rumanil's hand here. And we can see, Notion Thief, I love it. We can see Brainstorm. We can see here Dak Faden.
Time Vault.
Time Vault as well.
Mindbreak Trap.
Man, all sorts of stuff going on here. So for people who aren't familiar with vintage, we're really just chucking you into the deep end here. You're gonna have to sink or swim, really. Dak Faden, hugely impactful planeswalker in a format dominated by artifacts, of course. All the Moxen, Soul Rings, in addition to other sort of all sorts of other utility artifacts, just such as
Dak Faden. Just the abilities that Dak Faden. The first one is +1.
Faithless Looting. Yeah, there it is.
-2. Game of Steel Artifact.
Still an artifact, and -6 doesn't matter. You never activate it, so we don't really need to know. You steal people's permanents if you target them with anything.
I like the back in the days the card names were much easier.
Yeah, Steel Artifact.
What does it do? Game of Artifact. What kind of card does that? A card named
Steel Artifact.
Steel Artifact.
That's right. Polluted Delta going to kick things off for Stebbing here, and he ships the turn. Rumanil here is going to look to press the advantage here. His hand's pretty good, lacking some sort of interactive spells like, say, Mental Misstep. One of the pillars of the format here. Mental Misstep, hugely important in Legacy, or in Vintage, I should say. Here is a Soul Ring, beautiful old Soul Ring too, and that's going to meet the card we just talked about, Raph, Mental Misstep.
So no Time Vault just yet.
No. And Polluted Delta, the follow-up play for Rumanil. So Time Vault, of course, the combo with Voltaic Key, and you would imagine Rumanil is playing Tinker. The only format in which Tinker is legal, really, is Vintage, and can be hugely powerful. Sometimes, of course, just getting a Blightsteel Colossus, but other times Volt Key is going to lock your opponent out of the game for good. His Mental Misstep, again, hugely important card. Most blue decks are playing 2, 3, 4 in many cases.
So the combo is pretty much Time Vault along with Voltaic Key or Tezzeret.
Yeah. Untapping anything that lets you untap the Time Vault for sure.
For a while, Time Vault was had a different text.
Yeah.
Now it's back to normal. It says untap during your untap step. If you untap Time Vault,
you skip a turn.
Skip a turn.
Yeah.
Back in the days, but not back in the days. A couple of years ago, not that long ago.
Here is Time Vault, powered out off our first piece of power, a Mox Emerald there, and black bordered as well. Rumanil really has not come to play games here. Absolutely stunning vintage deck from him. Look at this, black bordered old Soul Rings, Underground Seas, and Moxen as well. Fantastic stuff from Rumanil here. Stebbing's going to have to find an answer at some point because Rumanil is one card away, basically, from taking this game out.
So just to let you know what the text was.
Go on, sorry.
So Time Vault said it had the same text, except that the activation was tap Time Vault, remove a time counter from it, get an extra turn. To get a time counter on Time Vault, you had to skip a turn.
Oh, jeez.
So that means you could not play around. It was Voltaic Key or Tezzeret.
Yeah.
But now they took away that clause,
and they brought the combo back.
And just limited Voltaic Key, restricted Voltaic Key.
Yeah.
And restricted Time Vault as well. But I think at some point you could play 4 of them, because it was so hard to activate.
Yeah, of course.
You needed
it wasn't
time. It wasn't busted at that point.
But right now, of course, vintage players around the world living in fear of the 1-2 punch here. We're going to see a brainstorm from Rumanil. He's got that polluted delta to maybe shuffle away some unwanted cards. That mind break trap sitting in his hand, I don't think Stebbing is on Storm here, although really the blue deck sort of are homogenized to a certain point. You know, a lot of them have a core of, you know, maybe 20 cards that we see a lot of. Mental Misstep amongst them, of course. Gush appearing in a huge amount of decks, but they sort of vary out from there. Notion Thief, another absolute haymaker in Vintage. I mean, there's some disgusting things you can do with it, especially with Dak Faden. You can target your opponent with the Faithless Looting ability, make them discard 2 while you draw the 2 instead. But also, of course, flashing in a Notion Thief in response to a Jace activation. We've all been there in Legacy, Raphael Levy, and we all know what it's all about. Rumanil still resolving this brainstorm here. And we're going to see him shift the turn after playing the Scalding Tarn. Stebbing really hasn't done much so far.
This is what Vintage actually looks like.
Vintage is either in the first 2 turns the game is over, or you're beating each other to death with random 2-1s over the course of 30 turns.
The Squire is usually good enough.
Yeah.
They don't play that bit.
Well, they might as well. After the dust has settled, honestly, a Flying Men would be good enough here. But right now, Stebbing with a full grip, and so is Rumanil. It's just a completely different game, Vintage. It's just it operates on it's this weird, off-the-wall magic. What a format it is. See what Stebbing's going to deploy here, and it's going to be a Gush. So floating 2, drawing 2. Stebbing with 2 mana in pool. We don't know which colours. We might get that sorted out. 1 blue by the look of things, and is it going to be a Gush? Another one of the cards that's so important in this format.
It's been restricted. It's been unrestricted.
Yeah. Restricted
again. And today it is.
It's unrestricted today. Unrestricted, and many of the obviously pairing very nicely with Monastery Mentor, one of the key decks, probably the biggest deck now, seeing as we've had Lodestone Golem restricted, and his Time Walk cast off those islands.
The second piece of power played under camera today.
Black bordered as well. Very nice to see that. The original Time Walk, there it is. Might be a beta Time Walk actually that we saw there. And we're going to see a Soul Ring as well. So this is where we see the power of Time Walk. 5 cost Time Warps aren't so flash. Good if you've got some Planeswalkers, some creatures, whatever else. But here in Vintage, the impact of having an extra turn is just multiplied 1,000-fold. Unfortunately for Stebbing, that Soul Ring's not going to hit the battlefield. A Mental Misstep from the side of Rumanil. And let's go back now past the turn over to Stebbing. From Stebbing to Stebbing, draws a card. You can see Force of Will, another Gush, and a Mox Jet in hand there. In addition to all these black-bordered old cards. This is fantastic to see the Vintage old guard. A great group of players. Here's the Jet. Black-bordered Jet as well. And Polluted Delta might be fetched here, yeah. Interested to see what's cast here.
It feels that it's very hard to make any kind of comment on the state of the game.
No, that's the thing.
Because you can't really see who has the advantage.
No, it's so swingy.
I would say Richard has the advantage because he's the active player.
Yeah.
And being the active
he can cast sorceries.
Being the active player in Vintage is even more it could be even more swingy. I don't know if that's probably a word.
Swingy, for sure. Here's Jace. Jace, I was watching Stebbing tap 4 mana here, and I'm thinking there's only one card that it's going to be, and it is indeed Jace, the Mind Sculptor. Some decks, there's one deck in Vintage that I'm very fond of, the Blue Moon version in Vintage, which plays Consecrated Sphinx and Ancient Tombs and that sort of stuff to get there, and it's fantastic, but I mean 4 mana in Vintage is just so much mana.
We talked yesterday during the Legacy tournament. We said, Jace is not too good these days.
No, it's been pushed out.
Expensive.
Yeah, it's been pushed out due to its cost.
Actually, it's not. I think it's better in Vintage. 4 mana is easier to get in Vintage.
Yeah.
So while it sounds like very mucho mana, It's actually not so bad.
Getting there is can be very hard, and especially with stacks decks in the format. 4-mana was more or less impossible. And this is the other side of the coin that we see. After you've tapped out for your Jace and brainstormed, in Vintage, you're not necessarily tapped out. You can draw Lotus, you can draw Moxen, and we see Mox Sapphire here joining the Jet on the side of Richard Stebbing. So now I think pretty clear. A lot of really, if Stebbing gets to untap, the percentage for him to win this game goes up hugely here.
If he has a Force of Will
And a Force of Will in
to
hand for
counter the
Stebbing as
National
well.
Thief,
There is a Force of Will in Stebbing's
probably,
hand.
I would say it's in the bag,
In the bag ski?
but unless Stefan can draw the other piece of his combo.
Well, let's see what...
If he actually gets to attack.
Yeah. Let's see what Ruminil can find here. 4-mana. Can flash in the Notion Thief, however, Stebbing does know about it. Has seen it off that Gitaxian Probe. Isn't likely to activate a Jace without forgetting that.
Yeah.
Of course, having a Notion Thief in response to your brainstorms. Oh, mate. Mate.
Yeah.
It is horrific.
It's a little bad.
It is horrific. 4-mana. Is it going to be a Jace of Ruminil's own? No, it's just Notion Thief. Okay, and we're going to see here a Pyroblast, yeah. Main deck Pyroblast, hugely impactful card, really useful, and a mental misstep. So Ruminil's going to fight over this. Stebbing has the tools he needs to fight as well with the Force of Will here.
Yeah, Force of Will is probably going to be played here. I don't think Notion Thief is something you want to stick with.
No.
Something you want to have.
So you definitely let the mental misstep resolve here, and then you cast a Force of Will targeting the Notion Thief if you're going to fight over it. But it looks like no. Stebbing's happy enough to just let it resolve.
Do you have anything to kill it? That would be terrible. What? Didn't he have a blue card to counter the?
Yeah, has a Gush in hand as well.
Well, that's not going to do much.
Stebbing can just unsummon the Notion Thief, and that isn't so bad as well.
okay,
It's 4-mana, 4-mana sort of wasted on the part of Ruminil. I wouldn't be surprised to see that's the way it goes here. The other thing that I'll point out about Vintage decks is it's so hard to tell what kind of deck they are because the blue decks make up such a huge amount of the metagame, but the actual specific type of blue deck they are, it can be Storm, it can be Oath, it can be Mentor, or it can just be random good stuff.
So when people ask me what are the decks in Modern, I usually say, okay, that's Supreme Verdict.
Oh wow, sure, yeah,
okay.
no worries. Supreme Verdict,
Supreme
there.
Verdict.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that was expected.
Definitely expected there. I mean, I played in this Blood Moon deck that I mentioned before, but again, this is the thing about Vintage. It's the Wild West, man. It's the Wild West.
So which removal should I play in my deck?
Yeah.
It's Supreme Verdict.
Supreme Verdict,
that's the
yeah.
best one.
Trostani's Judgment's pretty good. Yeah, we'll get that in there. Make another germ token.
So what I was saying, like,
To go ahead,
you
yeah.
have, I think you have 3 kind of decks in Modern.
Yeah.
You have the blue base decks.
Yeah.
That probably run about 30 or 40 cards in common.
Mm-hmm.
Like every single blue deck in Vintage
In Vintage, not Modern.
plays. Yeah.
In Vintage, yeah.
What did I say? Modern?
You said Modern.
Oh, okay, Vintage. Sorry.
Here's a Sylvan Library,
Has-
also black bordered.
Has 30 or 40 cards in common.
Yeah.
Then you have the artifact decks.
Yeah.
Mud, stacks, and whatever the name.
Just the workshop decks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have the more combo-oriented decks.
The dredge
like
decks, basically, yeah.
And stuff like that.
You can play Belcher as well, although it doesn't really put up the numbers.
But you have other decks like
Yeah.
that. Do you have any in mind? There's so many of them.
Yeah.
Doomsday,
Doomsday as well, another ridiculous combo deck, yeah, for sure.
the Storm decks. This is like the combos.
Yeah.
You have the blue control that can win with either Tinker, Time Vault, you name it. You name your kill.
Yeah. But a lot of decks these days going for Monastery Mentor, backed up with cards like Gush, and certainly really, really impactful. However, Vintage, like we talked about how slow Legacy is to adapt today. I haven't seen many Mentors around the top tables just purely because people are chained to these decks. They love playing these cards. They've been around for years and years and years. Monastery Mentor, the new kid on the block, only been around for 12 months or so. People slow to adapt here. So Ruminil really
at some point the blue deck,
yeah.
the win condition for the blue deck was Kieran Dryad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Kieran. So it's now it would be the poor man's mentor.
Yeah, there you go. That's really interesting.
The old prowess.
Yeah.
It used canners.
Yeah, Quirion Dryad, of course, people remember that being reprinted in M13. The old Miracle Grow decks have been around for a while. So stepping here with Macho Mana, Macho Cardzo as well.
Mucho Mana,
Yeah, and here's the Monastery Mentor. So there you go. This is a card absolutely busted in Vintage, more so than in any other format, for the simple reason that it's full of Moxen. You can go Monastery Mentor, Mox, X, whatever. Here's a Gush as well, so now we're going to see Stebbing begin to go off. And at this point, we were talking before, Raph, about it being difficult to see who was ahead.
Well, now
Pretty clear now to see how things are going to turn out. So Rumonil, without an answer to the Gush as well, that would have been crucial there. Forcing that would have been pretty good, but only 2 cards in hand for Rumonil. And Grixis, does give you options with many very powerful cards, Demonic Tutor, Yawgmoth's Will, this sort of thing. But right now, Rumonil does not have the goods.
Yeah.
Kolaghan's Command.
That's pushing it a little bit.
It is a bit of a liability here against this Mentor because a single instant or sorcery is going to push... Yeah, and here's Force of Will. Pitching Force of Will, but any instant or sorcery would have taken the Mentor out of Kolaghan's Command. The Shatter is always going to be relevant, but the 2 damage,
Mindbreak
not
Trap.
so much.
He knew about that one. So Kolaghan's Command is still not going to kill the Mentor because the Prowess Trigger.
Because of Prowess Trigger, and that's what we've seen here. So Stebbing losing 2 cards, unfortunately for him, losing both forces. But Rumonil is going to merely, I think we'll see a Shatter here. Stebbing still gets to draw 2.
Maybe get
the Mentor.
National Thief back.
Whoa.
Raise that. No, Mentor should not.
Mentor should not be dead there. Wow. Okay. So Stebbing forgetting his prowess triggers.
I guess.
That is insane. That Force of Will would have made it a 3/3. So Stebbing there, an unfortunate blunder for him.
And he didn't even get the token.
Didn't even get the token as well. Yeah. So Stebbing sort of not putting his cards to their best use here, unfortunately for him. Having said that, has gushed.
He hasn't gushed. He was exiled.
Oh,
Mindbreak Trap
exile
was-
all
yeah.
spells, of course. Yeah. No, Mindbreak Trap was a nice one there.
Oh, yeah, and it should be exile as well.
Oh, look at this. Now Stebbing's attempting to get his token, but the thing is, mate, if you've resolved that trigger, then, you should have thought about the prowess trigger as well. It should still be there. I think it's too late.
Yeah, and he should also exile the Gush as well. Should not be.
Oh, the Gush definitely should be exiled. Alright, well, we're going to make sure that gets resolved. We're going to make sure that those things get fixed up. That Gush and the Mentor should obviously be exiled.
No, the Mentor should not be exiled.
Oh, no, not the Mentor, sorry. The Gush should be exiled, and the Mentor, that ship has sailed. You're not getting the prowess. You're not getting the prowess.
I would
You're
not.
getting
I
the
would not
trigger.
leave that.
No. We're well into Rumonil's next turn. It's unfortunate to see that here, but that's the way it goes.
We'll see if we can have it fixed. I think they're talking to judges. We sent a couple of emissaries to fix the situation, exile the Gush, and maybe try to get some information about what's going on. Okay, so he's not getting the tokens. He's not getting tokens, and Stefan now has the opportunity to get back into this game, even though he's facing Jace the Man Sculptor. But he's the active player here.
Yeah, it does make a big difference. I would still say Stebbing has the upper hand at this stage, but that was a very unfortunate sort of stumble there, and as we see Gush being exiled after that Mindbreak Trap taking care of it there. Preordained for Rumonil. So, of course, Preordain, one of the only unrestricted cantrips in Vintage, Raph Levy. I'm sure you know, Ponder and Brainstorm, both restricted. You can only play one of each.
Yeah, that's a little large. Like, there are a lot of cantrips that are not restricted.
Well, we're talking about that. Come on, talk about the good cantrip. Okay, sorry, yeah. You can play 4 copies of Slip Through Space if you really want to.
Oh, the Expedite. Expedite?
Yeah, you play Expedite
you
as well.
You can play 4.
Yeah. Play 4 Expedites, no worries, mate.
You know what? Earlier, during Richard's turn,
yeah,
I was like, oh, is he playing any kind of mass haste thing?
Yeah.
Like Fervor to attack with all the stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember, you can also play Time Walk.
You just play Time Walk, yeah.
That works too.
Notion Thief coming back here.
Time Walk kind of gives all your creatures haste.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, it kind of does.
Yeah.
Same effect.
Notion Thief as well coming down. Only 3 mana tapped there because of the extra mana from the lands.
So okay, so you're gonna put.
Oh
cards back.
jeez. Oh jeez.
You're gonna put.
Oh
cards back.
no. Okay, this is not an interaction that I've ever seen before. Notion Thief and Sylvan Library. So Stebbing draws the 3 cards. So no,
it does
actually,
not.
Ruminil.
Instead of drawing the 2 extra cards.
Yeah, Ruminil draws the 2 extra cards. Then Stebbing has to put back
The card he drew.
the card he drew or pay 4 life. Oh man, we're going to make sure a judge is watching this because this is where it gets hot and heavy. My goodness. So this is all, I mean, this is the sort of stuff we see. I'm just glad there's not a Chains of Mephistopheles on the battlefield because then we'd be here all day.
Well, at least for 26 minutes.
At least 26 minutes and 56 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. It's our great pleasure. I don't know if you can tell the level of excitement existing in the booth right now, but I tell you what, this is a format that is near and dear to my heart. Not one that gets enough coverage as it is.
Because nobody, like, if you don't play at home, if you don't see these situations, you can't learn.
Yeah.
There's not enough coverage. There's not enough
there's
visibility
not
of this
exposure.
format. How many times have you played Sylvan Library against Notion Thief?
Yeah. This is an interaction that you don't see very much come up very much, but I mean, this is the format of weird corner cases. Oh, and it's absolutely it's brilliant to be able to bring you live coverage of this vintage event here from Bazaar of Moxen, Annecy.
He's gonna take at least 4 here. He's at least taking 4.
Yeah.
Because there's 1 card he cannot put back. Is that correct?
Well, the judge there taking care of it, and we'll find out straight away as soon as it happens.
I think, like, for every card, you need to put 2 cards back.
Yeah.
For every card you don't put back, you take 4.
You pay 4 life. Let's have a look at the Oracle wording of the Sylvan Library, because this could be absolutely busted here. This Notion Thief wreaking havoc. It's a card that in the past hasn't impressed. For each of those cards, pay 4 life or put the card.
So what happens if you actually?
So there's no cards left in hand that were drawn this turn.
So wait, if you choose 2 cards in your hand drawn this turn.
So there's 1 card.
For each of those cards, pay 4 life and put. I have no idea how that.
Okay, so
I have no idea.
What my may draw a 2. You may draw 2 additional cards.
So that's what he did.
Yeah, so it's too late because Stebbing has chosen to do it. There it is on this screen. If you do, choose 2 cards in your hand drawn this turn. For each of those cards, pay 4 life or put the card.
So what happens if you actually?
So there's no cards left in hand that were drawn this turn.
So wait, if you choose 2 cards in your hand drawn this turn.
So there's 1 card.
For each of those cards, pay 4 life and put. I have no idea how that.
Okay, so
I have no idea.
What my I'm not a judge, but my reading of this would be that the normal card drawn with the draw step, the regular card, would have to be put back, or Stebbing has to pay 4.
Yeah. You don't take 4 or whatever.
No. Because it says for each of those 2 cards drawn this turn, there aren't 2 cards drawn this turn here. So, man, what an interesting interaction. This is fascinating stuff here, and this is what we see in Vintage. So the judge's still sorting things out here.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about Notion Thief. I was like, it's not. You can counter it, it's cost 4. It's Pyroblasted. It gets Supreme Verdicted. Supreme Judged. I don't know how you say that.
Supremely verdicted.
Supremely verdicted. But now, ooh. Well, maybe you know what could happen now? Richard could actually look for answers in the brainstorm with Jace.
No.
Yeah, wait, he could.
No. Well, he could try to.
He could try, yeah.
He could try. It's not going to work out very well. So Stebbing, of course, can't activate that Jace. Well, can activate the bait.
He can bounce or try to draw.
Yeah. If Stebbing attempts to draw with Jace, and we're going to see an unsummon here, what will happen is Stebbing will have to put 2 cards on top of his library, and Ruminil will draw 3 cards.
-1.
Yeah, -1.
Isn't it -2?
No, -1 to unsummon. -1 to unsummon. Yeah, no, it's that unfair. It's that busted. This
man,
card.
I haven't played this card.
Yep. So away goes
it's -1.
Away goes the Notion Thief here.
Or you can just what's the name of this card? Agonizing memories. I think it was Agonizing Memories. 2 black and 2. Look at the player's hand, and put 2 cards of them from that hand on top of the library. So that's what happens with Jace.
Yeah.
Against
Yeah.
Seduction Thief. You remember the previous turn, like, oh no, it's agonizing. And you put the 2 cards back. Pure info Stefan, who's looking for the other piece of combo to get infinite turns and win in any way he wants. Just attacking with Notion Thief would be good. Anything really. He has the mana to cast Notion Thief again. Any total control here. Against Richard, 1 card. Let's see if he tries to. Actually, now he can use the library now. Oh wait, how does it work? Can we have the text of
The library's a trigger.
It says you may draw.
You may, yeah, that's right.
So actually, he should have used it. He said, trigger on the step.
Yeah.
And then if he doesn't play the Notion Thief,
yeah.
then he draws them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's always the option there. It is
So
a
it
may.
doesn't. So it doesn't.
And this, I mean, this is the thing about these old cards as well.
Notion Thief.
Yeah.
Are you doing your Silver Library?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah, Stebbing actually did have the option to do it, but here is the Notion Thief, yeah, end of turn. So Stebbing without anything to do or to say about that. So after a Fate Seal with the Jace here. And Stebbing's under a lot of pressure here. If that Mentor had stuck around before, this would be an entirely different game. Ruminil now. With a Library of Alexandria in hand as well, one of my absolute favourite cards. A Gush is going to draw Ruminil even more, and we see this is the power of Gush. Power of the instant speed, free draw spell.
Oh, here's the tutor. Here's the.
Oh, and here's Demonic Tutor as well. So this is going to wrap the game up nice and quick here.
Nice and quick after 40 minutes.
Yeah, nice and quick.
After 30 minutes.
No worries at all. We're going to get Voltaic Key, and we're going to see now, basically, Stebbing does not get another turn. DT snagging out the Voltaic Key.
The VK.
The DT for the VK and the for the TV.
For the IT.
The
Infinite
IT?
turns.
Infinite turns. Yeah, that's how it goes. Oh, after having crushed with his NT as well. So here we go. Library of Alexandria. Not sure how much mana is in pool here. We should have.
I think it's 1.
Ruminil should have some mana in his
He
pool.
should have one blue mana.
So, Voltaic Key, of course, Ruminil has to have a way to protect it, I guess. Library of Alexandria, an absolute house here. One of the cards that makes you very happy to be put in the drawer.
It's a house if you want to live
With books?
With books.
Yeah, for sure. Drawing an extra card as long as you've got 7 cards in your hand. And it taps for mana as well, in case that wasn't good enough. So good. And I think Ruminil is going to go for it here. It looks to be the case. Oh, drawing a card with the library. Yep, 7 cards in hand, draws a card.
And another land. Oh, come on.
And here is Voltaic Key, and that'll do it. There you go, Stebbing, packing him up. He knows he's dead to that eventually, of course, because Voltaic Key untapping the Time Vault, which can be tapped again to take an extra turn, ad infinitum. Basically, Stebbing never gets another turn.
Well, he's going to get one in game 2.
Yeah, in game 2 we're going to move on here, and these guys are going to hit the sideboards and move on to game number 2. In the meantime, however, it's interesting to figure out the different sideboard options available to vintage players, because so much of it has to be devoted to stuff like hateful cards against Dredge, against shops, that sort of thing. So the sideboard's often hugely impacted.
Look at this.
So this is Anton Karlinski and Fabien Jacquet here. I can tell you Jacquet is not playing any power in his list. However, Karlinski, as you can see, just a casual Black Lotus there.
Lotus petals.
A lot of Lotus petals, yeah. Three of them stapled together. That's right.
The whole flower.
The whole flower is there, in addition to the Mox Sapphire hiding out at the bottom. Looks like we're fighting over something at the moment.
Mox Ruby.
A Mox Ruby, I should say.
Come on, man.
Come on.
You can't do that.
Amateur effort from me today. And of course, a Monastery Mentor and a baby Jace on the battlefield here. So Karlinski looks to be in a good spot. Jacquet on the other side, playing a powerless vintage deck, and we're going to see exactly what that means. Here's a Flusterstorm as well, so another trigger from the Monastery Mentor. And away finally goes that Lightning Bolt. So, trigger, using a little Psyducks there. And now it's second Lightning Bolt.
That did the job. It doesn't have to do much more.
Well, Karlinski doesn't have to let this resolve. I can see Force of Will hiding out in his hand here. And the thing is, I think this Monastery Mentor is a 4/4. I think this Monastery Mentor is a 4/4. So it's a 4/4 with 1 damage with 3 damage marked on it.
It's hard to battle when you have 1 or 2 less mana than your opponent.
Yeah. Yeah, and Jacquet ships there. So Karlinski, you saw that die there on 2, pointing out how many triggers the Mentor had there. So Jacquet, with that Lightning Bolt, an odd play. Here's a Brainstorm, trigger the Monastery Mentor, and now Raphael Levy, you're in for a treat because you're going to see this Mentor deck going off. This is what it looks like here, because with a huge amount of mana available for Karlinski, he can get 3-4 prowess triggers and get in there. And I mean, Jacquet is only on 13.
It's not even. It doesn't even have to go off.
No.
He's gonna play like 3 spells and it's gonna be over.
And that's it.
Maybe 4. A 3 would be enough. 3 times 3 plus 4. Yeah, 3 should be enough. I'm pretty sure he can manage to play 3 spells.
Yeah, for sure. Karlinski, this is exactly what the deck that Karlinski's playing is set up to do. Take advantage of Monastery Mentor. Because Monastery Mentor, it rewards you for doing things you're already doing. You're drawing cards, you're playing instants and sorceries, you're playing Moxen. You know, you're playing non-creature spells anyway. So to get paid for it up front like that, fantastic. Activating Jace here. That's going to flip. Force of Will, Pyroblast, just everything. I mean, Karlinski is completely. I mean, it's going to take something very special for Jacquet to pull his way out of this one. We're going to see Jace flip, maybe what have we got in the bin? Maybe an Ancestral Recall to flash back?
Even the Bolt would be good enough. Like anything is good enough.
Yeah, but come on. Come on.
Just flash back.
Here's the Telepath Unbound. There it is! Flashing back Ancestral Recall. Is there a greater feeling in the world? Oh, Karlinski's going to target himself. Interesting choice. It resolves. Draw 3, 1, 2, and 3 cards here. And this is what we love to see in Vintage here. Absolute, just disgusting levels of value. Mox Pearl, trigger the Monastery Mentor another time. Third spell we've cast so far. So anything else will do it here. In we come, and a Lightning Bolt going upstairs as well. So 4 damage from that one, 4 damage from that one, 5 damage from that one.
Should be it.
That is all she wrote, sports fans here. Karlinski picking it up in very convincing fashion. Props to Fabien Jacquet turning up to a vintage deck, a vintage tournament with an unpowered deck. Good on him. But I mean, this is the power.
He was 2-0.
He was 2-0 as well, doing very well. But I mean, this is the power of the power as we move to table number 1. Or sorry,
Both
table number our original table.
Originally, like for a while, tournament organizers supported unpowered vintage
Powered
decks.
vintage, yeah.
With like 2 different rankings. Like they were playing the same tournament, and they were giving away prizes for the top empowered deck.
And the top powered deck. Okay, sure. All right. Well, none of that here. You go harder, you go home. Bazaar of Moxen, Annecy with very, very proudly featuring Vintage here, and it's a great pleasure to bring it to you live and uninterrupted around the world, wherever you are. Thank you so much for choosing to join us this weekend. We had an action-packed day full of Legacy yesterday, Raph Levy, but it is Vintage today that we're streaming, and we're very, very happy to be doing so. Ruminil, after picking up game number 1, very happily, you can see a Notion Thief hiding out in his hand, a card that did a huge amount of work in game 1. Stebbing's going to try to claw this one back, though.
Just to finish with the unpowered thing.
Yeah.
Usually the unpowered decks feature a lot of like anti-powered decks with stuff like Gorilla Shaman.
Yeah.
Like cheap cards
things that are looking to punish people playing power. Gorilla Shaman, Steel Hellkite was a big one in Shop's decks a while ago.
Well, Mishra Workshop's already
basically power, yeah, it is. Mishra's Workshop, so powerful. I know many people were glad when Lodestone Golem was restricted a month or so ago. I could not believe my luck. I was thrilled with the modern bannings, and I scroll down and see the vintage one as well. Absolutely lost it. I was so happy. Stacks, I think, is an important deck for the format, but having a deck that was able to ding you for 5 while preventing you from casting any spells at every turn, I wasn't into that. Ain't nobody got time for that, and I certainly didn't either. We're going to see Polluted Delta And here's Voltaic Key, or sorry, a polluted delta cracked and an underground sea powering out the Voltaic Key. Ancient Grudge, a very strong card, very, very strong in Vintage as well. Always a target for it, more or less.
Having cards in the graveyard, as long as they're not exiled, it's okay. It's not. They're gonna come back with Yawgmoth Will at some point.
Yeah. Ruminil, of course, will be relying on Yawgmoth Will, almost certainly. And we'll be able to bring a whole bunch of cards back. So, for those who don't know, Yawgmoth's Wheel is like the super Past in Flames. Past in Flames, of course, giving everything in your graveyard flashback. Yawgmoth's Wheel does a little bit better than that. It basically draws you your entire graveyard for the rest of the turn.
Yeah.
So everything in your graveyard you can play, including lands. But if anything would be go to the graveyard this turn, you exile it instead.
The rich man's Past in Flames.
The rich man's Past in Flames, yeah. Here we see a Gush.
Gush.
There is Yawgmoth's Will. And it's Pyroblast targeting the Gush. And this is brutal stuff here. I see a mental misstep, luckily for Stebbing, because getting your Gush counted is big game.
Well, unless you get countered by your mental misstep.
So here's mental misstep number 2. And just for a moment, Ralph, imagine if there's a Mentor in play while this exchange is going on. And this is why Mentor decks are so heavily favoured at the moment, is because of exchanges like this. Were Stebbing to have, say, a Black Lotus Mentor first turn, at the moment he'd have huge amounts of tokens there, even after having lost that Gush.
That's a big game. Had Richard had his tokens, it would have been a different story in game 1.
Yeah, very different indeed. Ruminil here now drawing and finding Tinker.
There's no artifact in play.
No artifact in play, unfortunately for him.
His hand is actually pretty bad here. He cannot cast any spell.
Force of Will, the only spell he can cast, and the Colligan's Command as well.
Is that a...
Colligan's Command hiding at the back.
It looks like a junk troller. I don't think it's a junk troller, but...
No, that's a Blightsteel Colossus. That is an atrocious draw.
Yeah,
that is a terrible draw.
I would prefer to have junk troller here.
Oh man, that is atrocious. Yeah, having the Blightsteel Colossus in hand is just exactly not what you want. If there's a way for Ruminil to discard it, he will absolutely snap up that opportunity, because having the Colossus in hand means that Ruminil doesn't have anything to tinker for, really. Time Vault.
Man, for me, it really looks like a junk troller.
Yeah. Maybe it is Junk Troller. So Stebbing considering his next option, and it's Mox Pearl, and ships the turn. So no land for the turn here after having played that Gush.
Why no land?
We played a land and then returned it. So no land. No land at the end of the turn. Second Gush, and here is Preordained. So Gush made playable by the fact that you can develop your mana while still returning lands to your hand here. Goes beautiful. What
about Fastbound? Fastbound is not played anymore?
Fastbound is played in Oath of Druids. A lot of the sometimes Oath of Druids, sometimes Gush.
Not in Gush decks.
We saw a Tropical Island before. I wouldn't be surprised to see Stebbing playing it. Having said that, it's restricted.
Yeah,
it is restricted, obviously. So Fastbound, absolutely bananas. Obviously, basically lets you draw 2 cards for 2 life.
The good old James, that's how we called it.
The James. Yeah. And a Tropical Island, the draw here for Stebbing, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Fastbond here in the deck.
The James Fastbond.
James Fastbond?
007.
James Fastbond? I don't know, man. That's a bit of a stretch for me, I'm sorry. He's Sylvan Library.
Well, that's how we used to call it.
Really?
James, yeah.
Okay, alright.
Fastbond.
Fast James Bond. Yeah, okay, alright. Sylvan Library, nice little bit of card selection as well for Stebbing here. But Ruminil with the Notion Thief in hand, and I don't think Stebbing has seen it.
Well, he can't cast it.
One land away from doing so, however.
One mana away.
One mana away. Sorry, yeah. I should watch what I say.
This is actually
very different. Very different. Force of Will targeting the Sylvan Library here. We'll see what gets exiled. Might be that Tinker. Yeah, I'm not surprised to see Tinker being pitched there. That's going to be a hard card for Ruminil to really leverage here. And Force right back. Force pitching Force, says Stebbing. Alright. And it looks like that Sylvan Library is going to resolve. So Ruminil, I'm sure, is going to want to get that Notion Thief into play. Let's see what he can find on the top of his library. It's a Pyroblast. Man, that would have been nice to turn earlier.
Yeah. So do you play, do you actually play Yawgmoth Will here?
Is the Yawgmoth's Will in hand, hiding out there at the back?
I think it is.
All right.
So Yawgmoth will pretty much be rampant growth here.
Yeah.
A little bit better.
Rampant growth and a Voltaic here, yeah.
Or Preordain.
Stebbing having a look at what he's working with. Monastery Mentor at the top. And how much? We're going to take all three. Takes all three. Look at that. What a gangster. Oh. There you go. Stebbing just slamming 3 cards in his hand. Pay 8 life. He doesn't care. He doesn't care.
Oh man, he can actually, Stefan can actually, Callaghan's command,
Yeah.
put you down with 3.
Yeah, I'll just burn him out.
And
just burn him out. Jeez. That is huge game here from Stebbing. Here is the Monastery Mentor. Stebbing's going to look to really capitalize on this as well.
He has a sword.
Swords to plowshares as well,
which he
can't cast as right now.
Oh, no Callaghan's command.
Got to get those life totals updated as well, because Stebbing obviously not on 13 after having snagged those cards from the Sylvan Library. Let's see what Ruminil has to do here. Haven't seen a lot of Colligan's commands played in Vintage so far, but as I say, that chatter mode on them is almost always going to have a target.
We've seen one in
Stebbing
Legacy yesterday.
gets to untap. Oh, mate, this is going to be the turn here.
He's only on 10? It was a little less.
I would have imagined it was a little bit less than that. Oh, whoa, buddy.
Hold your horses.
Hold your horses. So, the trigger from Sylvan Library goes on the stack.
Hold your bronze horses. Your bronze horse?
The bronze horse?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold your Crowan horses.
It's a 7 mana 4/4 trampoline.
Yeah, I remember it well.
Doesn't do it.
Got no idea what you're talking
That's
about,
bronze
mate.
horse, man.
So, Sylvan Library's trigger goes on the stack. Ruminil's going to flash in the 3/1 here, the Notion Thief. Stebbing, if he's aware of this interaction, will say, I'll not activate the ability. It is a May on the Sylvan Library.
I can only imagine that he does not know about it.
Well, let's see. Let's find out, because last turn we saw Stebbing get into a host of trouble with the Sylvan Libraries last time. So, let's see. Let's see what Stebbing can do.
Okay, he's not on 10. He's on. No, he was not on 13. He's now on 10.
He's now on 10. We've had that fixed up.
So he cannot be burned out.
Yes. Here's Notion Thief. Let's see what Stebbing's going to do here. Of course, Force of Will still in hand, and we're going to see a Force. And this is what I'm talking about when it comes to Monastery Mentor. Trigger, get a 1/1, prowess. This is how important the Mentor is as part of this deck. Because it pays you. It's returning you dividends. When you're enacting a game plan, you're playing anyway.
It's going to be hard for Stefan to come back from this. He's facing Sylvan Library.
Yeah.
And a threat on the board.
Yeah.
And he's nowhere close to assembling his combo. He's short mana. That's an Arayo.
Arayo, Soratami Ascended. This is not a card I've seen in these lists very often, but certainly one that could be put to a lot of use. If I was Stebbing, however, here, wanting to get on the front foot, only on 9 life, but you're wanting cantrips, I think it's you keep the Ponder, draw the Gush, play the Gush.
You play Arayo. Play the
Alright,
last
here is
card.
Arayo. So if you can chain 4 spells together, or if anyone gets to play 4 spells, Arayo's Essence, a hugely, hugely powerful card. So here we see Arayo. And Stebbing should be able to chain 4 spells together here. And on the other side you can see counter the first spell played by each opponent each turn.
That's spell number 2 of the turn.
Oh, for sure. No, spell number 3. Notion Thief, Force of Will.
So that's spell number 2 then. That's spell number 3.
Notion Thief, Force of Will.
No, it's your 4th one.
No, it's the
any
fourth
fourth
spell.
yeah.
The 4th spell of the
That's
turn.
fourth spell,
Yeah. So we're gonna see the Arayo's Essence here
That's right.
after this Ponder, and Stebbing drawing into Gush as well. So this flips, and this is huge. This is really huge.
And this is why they don't make flip cards anymore, because
Yeah.
you don't really see anything on the board. It looks like this.
It's very difficult to see what's going on, for sure. But the Arayo's Essence, meaning that Ruminil is going to have a lot of stuff counted. I think we're going to see Gush drawn, Gush played maybe. I mean, there's not a not a huge need for Stebbing to do a lot here, to just sit behind this Mentor. Yeah, we're going to save those cards for later on to pump up those 1/1s. Right now, Stebbing really with all the tempo, all of the answers, Dig Through Time, and Pyroblast in the hand of
Just
Ruminil.
scoop, play first, and try to get your combo as fast as possible.
This is the biggest enemy now facing these players. They're going to end up in the draw bracket if this game continues.
Yeah, if I was Stefan, I would just scoop right away, shuffle as fast as possible, try to get the Time Vault win as soon as possible.
He definitely needs to make a move here because
Richard cannot win in 3 turns. I don't think he can.
Richard can win next turn.
No, I mean in a
new game. Yeah, sure. Pyroblast on this one. It's countered, of course. And so now Ruminil has to find another answer to it after the Pyroblast was, of course, countered.
I cannot win this game.
No, and this is unfortunate stuff here because I think Ruminil has that on his mind and is going to play a Dig Through Time, which of course will resolve. Exile a bunch of stuff here.
This is one of the strengths of the good players.
Yeah.
Of the very good players, knowing when to scoop.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Ruminil recognizing that this game, should really realize this game is pretty much over.
If it wasn't, then he should definitely play much faster. He will be on the play in game 3, but he won't have the time to.
No.
I don't know if time is called between the games. I don't think you start a game.
I'm not sure about that. Here's a Flusterstorm again, so Monastery Mentor, and we're going to see the old Scooperino here. There we go.
Just do it fast.
With 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock, finding a result for these two is going to be quite difficult, but props to Ruminil for making sure he scooped it up after having realised that he was absolutely dead to rights. But that's what happens. That's what Gush Mentor looks like, drawing a bunch of cards, getting in there with the Mentor, and finishing things off very quickly. So these guys hitting the sideboards. We're going to take a look at the next table here, and it looks like we've already got Modern underway on the other table.
We'll keep you posted on the results of their match, but they're most likely going to draw. We're moving to the Modern table, and with that, we're getting Pierre in the booth.
Hi.
Pierre is back, and he's helping me with the Modern situation here. Junior is running his John deck. He's playing against Theo Meri, and he is on. Is it Eldrazi? Black, white, Eldrazi. You see a Wasteland Strangler in the graveyard.
I have no clue what it is, but
It might be maybe Death and Taxes.
yeah.
White black decks in Modern are usually Death and Taxes. Running Thalia's, Dark Confident. Either Vial for Thalia would be not very good right here. When he's facing Grim Lavamancer.
Yeah, I think the vintage game will be a draw. Most likely.
If it's most likely a draw, but there's a chance.
Of Tinker.
Tinker on he's not going to line the combo because if you line the combo, you take all the extra turns and you don't finish. He can play a Blink Moth Colossus and attack, and that should be enough.
And there is no way for the Mentor player to win.
There's no way, but we'll keep you posted just in case it finishes.
Path.
This is a whole new word. When you come from legacy, from vintage, you get back to modern. It's actually hard for me to say. Take all the okay. So what is this? Going to be force of will, mental misstep? Oh no, it's just a path to exile. Oh yeah, that's a different thing.
2 damage.
So no, we're not seeing counter wars here. Counter wars are from the other decade.
Now it's Blast Wars. So I should get a basic land.
I did the metagame breakdown for Modern, and John is one of the most represented deck in this particular tournament.
Yeah, and I think there is the meta game is too wide to play Jund.
Too wide.
Yeah, so it's too many different decks, and Jund you need to
Target your.
target your meta game. And because of the ban of the Eldrazi, now it's too wide.
That's also a reason to play Jund. What I mean by that is that
If you're good, you have 55% against everything. That's what you mean.
no, that's not what I'm saying. It's that Jund is a well-rounded deck. It has answers to everything. If you don't know the metagame, your cards are maybe not adapted to everything, but they're still gonna be okay.
Yeah, still strong.
So when you don't really know what's going on, Jund is an okay choice. And I think that's what a lot of players decided to play here.
Yeah, makes sense.
Scavenging Ooze and Tarmogoyf.
Wow. Theo with no cards in hand, just the draw.
Oh, Black Splicer. Black
Good
Splicer.
draw.
No, that was in his hand. That was end of turn. He had the one card in hand.
Yeah, yeah. Because of the. Because it.
Julien Henry, who played, I think he played the PT Atlanta.
So it's kind of a good play, huh?
So at sorcery speed, played what was there with this card again? Flicker Wisp. Flicker Wisp. So it actually gets a second golem, and Blaze Blade is not killed in response. That would suck.
Yeah, why did he play it in Sorcerer Speed?
That's exactly what I was explaining. Because if Julien draws a removal and kills the Blade Splicer in response, then he does not get an extra golem.
Yeah, so.
Like, there's no reason to wait. That's what you're gonna do anyway. There's not gonna be any better target. That looks like a dead golem, but a golem nonetheless.
Yeah, and he will be able to block with 2/3/3 first strike also.
That doesn't help if the Blade Splasher dies. Kalitas. Still able to attack this turn. Oh, he will be able to attack next turn as well.
Yeah, 2 flying creatures. It's pretty good in this situation.
Yeah, Jund has a lot of removals, but he cannot block flying creatures. He can gain life from Scavenging Ooze and from the life link ability from Kalitas. And it's probably going to be a race right here.
With 2/3/3 first strike golem, it's gonna be hard.
As soon as Julien starts attacking, Theo is going to be wary of an instant spell removal on the Blade Splicer, and then that would be quite the blowout. If he double blocks the Kalitas,
Does that mean you want to bluff here and attack?
I don't think he can bluff because there's nothing that Theo can do.
Yeah.
He has to bluff,
Yeah.
and if your bluff fails, which is likely to happen,
You're done.
I think I'd have sacrificed something here end of turn,
Yeah.
like just to make Kalitas bigger.
Yeah, because he's on 7 now, so.
He needs to attack with Kalitas.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to lose it either. So Tarmogoyf is actually not doing so much. Or is it? Maybe it is. They're 4/5. Are they really 4/5? These creatures have left. So it's sourced. I think it's just instant. That sounds like.
There's no more creature, yeah.
So is that? Oh, maybe there's one more. he did not keep a green mana to activate Scavenging Ooze. But maybe that's enough. Maybe that's lethal. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Kalita only eats zombies. He doesn't eat any creatures.
Okay.
So my bad. Sorry about that. He only eats dead flesh. Tarmogoyf is very live flesh. So is there a way
He could have kept a green and red land untapped,
to get one life from
still bluff the bolt, but get one more life.
the green red Ravine? No, he needed
He would have tapped
pay red with the Blood Crypt. Pay green with the snow-covered forest. Or is it just a forest?
Probably a Ice Age forest, not non-snow covered.
Yeah, that's a snow-covered swamp. Very relevant formation right here.
Yeah.
So the Ooze gonna die. First strike.
It's gonna be 12 damage.
It's not gonna be enough. He's gonna die in the counter attack here.
Except if you have a bolt. No, he doesn't have.
Is he dead on the counter attack?
With the first strike, probably yes.
No. The first strike's not gonna do anything. First strike doesn't matter. So if he attacks with everything, he blocks one guy. He takes 6, 9, 10. Yeah, he's exactly dead. So we get some information about the other game. I don't think they actually tried. They actually started game 3. So it was indeed a draw. And they're going to sideboard. It's black-white hate bears. That was labeled as black-white hate bears.
Yeah.
It doesn't hate so much. It's just
Yeah, black
very-
syntax is there.
it's just to compare them to Care Bears. Just hate bears. They're not as caring as some friendly creatures.
And it's flying bears as well.
Flying bears, yeah.
Flying bears.
I think it would be this deck is just black-white. I don't know exactly how we can call it. It probably has a name.
It's like the black version of Maverick or something like that,
Yeah.
instead of green.
We'll get back to vintage as soon as the other round starts. But we're staying in this one because the vintage tournament hasn't started again. But we'll keep you posted on that as well.
Yeah, it's not gonna be easy to commentate vintage and modern
Yeah,
at the same time,
switching
but
from vintage to
you need to switch your
modern is-
brain as well.
Yeah, it was hard,
Yeah.
especially since yesterday we were all about legacy.
Legacy, yeah.
So
But I mean, you're professional, you can do it.
well, yeah, of course, I do that every day. I switch from legacy to vintage to modern to standard to cube to.
Yeah, 20 years of playing Magic.
Doesn't matter. You can cycle from 20 years. Doesn't mean the next day you can climb the mountain. Was there a way Juna could have actually won that game? It feels like the attack was a little,
Desperate move.
desperate. Like he knew he was dead on the board if he attacked.
I think if it doesn't attack, it goes to 1. It was at 7 and 6 points of damage in flying. So he could have stole one more
No, I
turn.
think what he could have done, if he just attacked with the 2 Tarmogoyfs, he would have sneaked in some damage, get a zombie that he can sacrifice to Kalitas if Teo attacks. Teo cannot attack and win with flying. He only gets in for 7. If Kalitas is in, if Kalitas can block and sacrifice a zombie because one of the Tarmogoyfs is dead, then he gets 5 life back and the attack doesn't do anything. So I'm pretty sure Julien missed the win here.
Not sure about the win, but at least
I think he was very close from winning.
yeah.
And did Theo had mana to activate his Bolt of the Archangels? Bolt of the Archangel? I think he didn't have 5 mana.
No. He was stuck at 3.
Stuck on 3?
Yeah. After 3 land, he just draw a creature every turn.
I think it was this attack was not really thought through. Oh, I thought he was giving the pre game 2 handshake, the famous game 2 handshake. Oh, I lost game 1. Good luck, have fun. I love that one. I like the pre game 3 handshake, but the pre game 2 is a little. I think it's a little over the top. It's okay. It's actually super awkward. I don't know what to do.
You have to shake the end, right?
You have to. You can't just ignore it, right? You have to go for it. Unfortunately, we don't have a table 2 playing at the moment. A vintage game to show you. So
it's gonna be soon. And if you guys wonder about the top 8 deck list, you can go on the website and find the deck list. They are online.
From yesterday, the legacy deck lists.
Yeah.
So we've seen Anton Karlinski win with Eldrazi.
Yeah.
Eldrazi beat Belcher in the finals of the legacy main event yesterday.
That didn't what we expected before the top 8. A lot of burn decks, a lot of storm decks.
In the tournament, a lot of burn decks at 5 or 6. Even I think there was one at 7-0,
Yeah.
and he did not make top 8. A little bit of the same story happened in Madrid, where there was the Spanish player, I don't remember his name, sorry. He did a deck with us. He praised his deck. He's like, oh, my deck is awesome. My deck's the best. I'm 5-0. I haven't lost a single game. I don't think I lost a point of life. Something. He was very enthusiastic. And then he proceeded to lose the next 3 rounds.
Yeah,
So
when you brag too much.
no, it's not. It's about like Mono Red is very good at the beginning of tournament. I don't know why they keep losing the last rounds and never make top 8. And no Ether Vial from Theo.
It's pretty good news.
This deck.
So you can see it terminate a couple of lands.
She opens with Blackleaf Cliffs. And no Ether Vial from Theo.
It's pretty good news.
This deck. It's either very good when you have a turn 1 Ether Vial, or kind of meh if you don't have it. Flicker Wisp are just not as good.
Oh, I think it just stopped deck of here. Is it gonna be too late?
Maybe you heard that, the judge. Which is called Pairings for Vintage. So we might have a vintage game coming up soon.
That's the card I like a lot.
Is it
Obviously, yeah.
Reminds you of stuff.
Reminds me good memories.
Good memories of
Back in the days.
meddling mages of Ether Vial Infinity.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pierre Canali, winner of PT Columbus back in 2004, playing Affinity and Meddling Mages. His tech was Meddling Mages and Affinity.
Yeah, it was kind of weird, but it was a little bit weird, but it worked really well. And I have been able to counterspell with Meddling Mage, with Madness on the stand.
Become the Guardian of Graben. Full grip for Julien, who resolved painful truth last turn.
Two mana sword size.
Is that an Arisen Canopy? Second card? Another, I think it's the... Yeah, I think it's
Expedition.
the Expedition version of Arisen Canopy. Do you take out... I think I take out Bob. Even though he has the answer, he doesn't have anything removed yet, exiled yet, so Whistling Strangler is not going to do anything. I think this turn he wants to play another Tarmogoyf.
Players, welcome to round 4.
Good read. Now the Tarmogoyf should be 3, 4. Yeah.
So you have the little
Nice.
die, the Tarmogoyf die that keeps track of the power and toughness, not toughness, toughness. He's a smart Wargoyf, but no, we're not counting its toughness here. Power and toughness of Tarmogoyf is 3, 4. He drew the blood crit that allows him to, and that was a pretty good draw from Mary. Double strip mine and leaving Julien without a green source. Oh wow, he drew the blood crit that allows him to terminate Idris 11, but look at what he has. The second card on the left, is that... I think it's what it is. I think it's Kozilek's Return. He doesn't have the mana to cast it yet.
Yeah, instant speed now it's 4-5. It's big guys. It's gonna be tough for Mary Theo now.
Whistling Strangler is not going to do much here. It's going to be a 3-2 for 3. Just a bad center Corso.
Yeah, you can double block Tarmogoyf and won't be enough. Take 4, go to 3.
All these guys are dead. Is that
Doesn't have a bolt, right?
No, he is a Culligan's command. So he would take Dealmate down to 1 life. Why would you play that now?
Because I don't know. Oh, because he had 1 card in hand, he didn't want to.
No, he had 2 cards.
He had 2 cards?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know why he did that. Well, I don't think it matters too much right here. It's going to Chimp Village. Or we can actually not go to Chimp Village. As Julien plays his Kozilek's Return, clearing out the way for Tarmogoyf to be able to tag for the last damage and to bring us to game 3. Okay, so while they're sideboarding to game 3, we're going to switch to table
Number 2, where it's a total different paradigm shift. So we step back 20 years back.
Maybe it's modern also.
Is it modern? I think it's vintage. Is it modern? It's vintage, right?
Alexander Pato and Chaplain Benjamin from the Silvernet. Please
See
come
our
to the stone
technician
platform.
here trying to communicate with us with word signs.
Benjamin.
Well, at you.
I saw a show and tell, so you're probably right. It's probably
These are
vintage. Yeah, I saw a troll.
yeah.
It's a troll.
So this is vintage. That's what I
vintage.
said. That's
Yeah,
what I
you were
said.
right. You misunderstood.
So, the technician is confused. So, no, it's modern. We saw a show and tell, and unless Sebastian is running show and tell on his modern deck, which is quite unlikely, we are witnessing the round 4 of vintage. Both of these players are undefeated. I think Camille is playing Merfolk, which is Merfolk is usually not a power deck. It's a non-power deck. It's just running Force of Wills, and
It's a good budget deck.
it's a good budget. Yeah, it preys on like power decks. Well, this hand looks like a legacy hand, a bad legacy hand. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that can match. And I think the clock is wrong as well. I think it just started. It just started like there. We have our people fixing the clock, fixing the records. I think it should be round 4 and they should be at 3-0. But let's get to the game instead. Let these guys figure out what's going on. So Camille chose not to play his.
Brainstorm.
No, he doesn't have a brainstorm. I think he has a curse catcher.
Oh. So why not?